Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is the day of the Oscars, so I'm on the ESPN, and we will try to predict in each category. Now, I did fill these out, but these were like random, so I just clicked them randomly. But I will be giving my predictions. So here we go. So we start off with actor in a supporting role, and it is going to be Kieran Culkin because he is one everywhere. Up next, animated feature film. I'm gonna go with The Wild Robot. Inside Out 2 is leading because, ESPN, Disney, Pixar, they're all owned together, so that would make sense that Inside Out 2 would be the top one. But I'm gonna go with The Wild Robot. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Animated short. Some of these were interesting. I'm actually gonna stick with the pick that, which is Wander to Wonder. Beautiful Men is about about guys going to Turkey and trying to get a hair transplant. I don't know, it seems kind of weird. In the Shadow of Cypress, it was like this father was like abusing the child, and then like a whale shows up or something. I don't know, weird. Magic Candies is like this kid who like gets a box of candies and then like it's all like magical. So I'm like, okay. Wander to Wonder is about like this former TV show, and like the creator dies, and then these people are like struggling to find out, like struggling to live basically. And then my second choice here, which is about a child's first kiss, and he's like, all of his friends are like, ew, you can't kiss her. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Wander to Wonder. Costume design, I'm gonna go with Wicked for that one. I'm gonna pick what the majority is picking. Got good costumes, a lot of moving pieces in that. I'm gonna go with Wicked. All right, so up next, writing original screenplay. Now I'm gonna go. It's between a Nora or a Real Pain. I don't think that they would give it to a Real Pain twice. They would give him 2 awards without not putting it for Best Picture. So I'm gonna go with a Nora. Sean Baker is a great writer. Kind of surprised. I mean, it's, as you could see, scattered all over the place. 36, 15, 28%. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with a Nora for that, but I feel confident in that pick. All right, so next up is adapted screenplay, and I'm gonna stick with the pick that I made, Enclave, which I just finished watching like last week, and it was incredible. So maybe there's a little bias there, but the majority are picking it, so I will pick it as well. I think it's really well done and really well written. I'm gonna go with Wicked. Yeah, I mean, to turn Cynthia Erivo green and then having all the moving pieces with everybody, I just think Wicked is in for that win. I'm gonna go with a Nora. Sean Baker again getting another win because he edited the movie as well. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick with a Nora, but it's a close race. Like if I look at Gold Derby and I go to actually, if I go to editing, it shows Conclave. But I'll stick with Nora. I think it is between those two. I don't know. Maybe I'll go with Conclave actually. Maybe you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe I'll go with Conclave because I don't know how much the editing community would like a guy like Sean Baker, and like obviously people like Sean Baker, but the editing branch liking a director, I don't really know. So I'm actually gonna change the pick, and we're gonna stick with that pick. Next up is actress in a supporting role. This is a really big one. I'm gonna stick with the pick that I made, which was Ariana Grande, which is surprising because Saldana's won everywhere, and it seems like a career Oscars move, and that's like what the Academy has done typically in these past couple of years. But I'm gonna go with Ariana because I think she's the best part of Wicked, and the best person should win in the best role, and so that's Ariana Grande. Now I'm gonna stick with what the majority thinks, which is Dune Part 2. And Dune Part 1, I believe won. I can look it up. Yeah, so it did win for sound the first time around, so I think it's gonna win again. This is an interesting one. Original song. I'm gonna go El Mal, I think is the favorite, but I'm actually gonna go with Never Too Late from Elton John. Sorry. They gave it to Elton John like 5 years ago, maybe, for Rocket Man, and I think the branch still loves Elton John, and so I'm gonna go with Elton John. I know that it's from a documentary this time compared to a feature film, but I'm gonna stick with my pick and go with Elton John. Documentary short film. Okay, so Death by Numbers, I Am Ready Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. I'm gonna go with I Am Ready Warden. A prisoner on death row. And the other's Death by Numbers is about a survivor of the 2018 Parkland shooting. Incident is about the killing of, seems like, an African American by Chicago police officer from body cam and surveillance footage. Up next was Instruments of a Beating Heart, which is like a Japanese child, it's like they have to perform a song, and it's like, I guess they're struggling to do so in their last semester. And then The Only Girl in the Orchestra, which I think is second. Yeah, so The Only Girl in the Orchestra is about this woman who gets hired by Leonard Bernstein to join the New York Philharmonic. Documentary. I'm gonna go with No Other Land. It's about a prevalent topic, the Israel-Hamas situation. Although Porcelain War, I could understand why it's at 7 about the Ukraine-Russian war. I just don't know if they'll keep giving it Oscars, which they've done recently. Production design. I'm actually gonna go with Wicked. I'm able to build that whole set, and they built everything. I respect that heavily, so I'm gonna go with Wicked. Visual effects, I'm gonna go with Dune Part 2. The last time, so it's gonna win again. Now this is international feature. I'm going with Amelia Perez. It's a shock. The Academy loves French people and French films. I know that this is not a French film because it's Spanish speaking, but I'm gonna stick with it. Now, all of these are good except for Anuja. When I was reading into it, I didn't really like Anuja. But I'm gonna go with Alien, about a guy who is getting deported, and that is very relevant to what is happening today. Anuja was about some smart Indian girl or something. I'm Not a Robot is like, this girl says that she not a robot, but like she finds out that she is. The Last Ranger is about like protecting rhinos, and the ranger winds up getting shot, at least one of them. And then The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, which I think could win. It's about a tragedy in which there are a bunch of people who are killing Muslims on a train. And it's like this one Croatian guy is sticking up for them. So, but I'm going to go with Alien there. Photography, which is, I will go for The Brutalist. Yeah, I think it's incredibly shot film, and I think it won a bunch of stuff before the Oscars. So I'm gonna go with The Brutalist for that one. Original is up next, and I'm gonna go, I think it's between these two, Conclave and The Brutalist. I'm gonna go with The Brutalist. Slightly. Haunting score there. Actor in a leading role. I'm gonna stick with this pick. It's between these two, Brody and Chalamet. I think they're gonna give it to Brody. And actually, I read somewhere that they weren't gonna give it to Ray Fiennes because they thought that he had already won when he hadn't won, and so they voted for Adrian Brody, who they thought didn't win and did win. So I think Brody's likely to win, but I'm gonna go with Chalamet. Hasn't won yet. He's the GOAT. Shout out to Timmy. Acting. I'm gonna go with Brady Corbet. Gonna go with Brady Corbet for The Brutalist. Over Sean Baker. I know it's a hot take, but it's my take, so I don't care. Actor. I'm gonna stick with this pick. Demi Moore. It's between Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. I'm gonna go with Demi Moore. And then finally, Best Picture. I'm gonna go with Anora. It's been trending like it's gonna be Anora, The Brutalist, and Conclave. It's been a great race, between those three essentially. But I'm gonna go with Anora, and those are my picks. Thank you very much, and goodbye.